All right, good evening, everybody. This is the Mount Vernon District Team Briefing for FRC. If we haven't met yet, my name is Kevin Ross, and I'm the Pacific Northwest District Chair. And also on the line with us is Mike Kreiner. Mike is the guy we call the site host for this event. He's a teacher at Mount Vernon High School and has done most of the heavy lifting in getting the arrangements made with the school. So thank you so much, Mike, for doing that with us. I'm hoping that we can make this presentation fairly quick. As always, if you've sat in on one of these before, we're going to do all of the venue-specific parts of this right up front. And so if you need to drop off after I get through the site-specific stuff and start talking about the day in general, you're welcome to. Having said that, I will remind everybody that this event is different than the other events that we're running. This event will be only on Friday and only on Saturday, so some of the stuff that is a little bit normal to the other events is different during this particular event, so you might want to stick around for that. All right, I'm going to go pretty quickly. Your microphone is muted by default. You are welcome to throw up some questions. My apologies, I'm on a single screen tonight, but I will keep an eye open for questions as we're going along. If you do have a question, go ahead and use the little raise hand button, and I will keep an eye out for those. All right. So we are going to talk about the event-specific information first. This will be general logistics, food, busing, those sorts of things, and how to load in and load out. Please pay attention to this. There are some restrictions on coming into this venue that you'll need to know about. So I'm very happy that you're here, and we're recording this for the folks who aren't able to make it. And then we're going to talk a bit in depth about a walkthrough of this event. Please, even if you've seen some of the other ones, you may want to stick around for the first couple of slides. I'm going to talk a bit about the schedule, which is peculiar to this event and to the OSU event down in Corvallis. First things first, before you arrive at this event, we really need you to go to our website and register. You're going to tell us if you need a pit table. If you don't tell us you need a pit table, we assume you don't want one, and so we have not allocated one for you. Pit tables cost money for us to get and to set up, so if you don't need one, we appreciate you're not asking for one. And we also need to acknowledge the 3-inch wheel rule. We'll talk about that later, and get some other general information, including your lead mentor's phone number, cell phone number or mobile phone number, so we can get a hold of them. The place that you're going to go register is at www.firstwa.org, and it's under the FRC menu. And you're going to go to FRC District Model Check-in. It's a real simple form, easy to fill out. If you're going to 2 events, tell us you need to do this twice, by the way. Do it once for each event. And you can select Mount Vernon High School, put in your team number, and all those sorts of things. Tell us whether you need a pit table or not, and also acknowledge the 3-inch wheel, that you have 3-inch diameter or larger wheels. We'll talk about that in length a little bit later. We'd really appreciate your doing this before next Wednesday so that we can get all of the equipment ordered that we're going to need. So thank you so much for that. Also, while I'm on this webpage, if you look under district model at, sorry, it's all flashing around on you here. Under the FRC district model, you can find the Mount Vernon event listed, and you'll find the schedule, the public schedule, and down at the bottom, and I haven't put them up yet because we haven't finished them, but the slides for this meeting and the recording of the video will be posted up there a little bit later. All right. I am hoping that that worked out. I'm checking for questions. No questions so far. I don't think. Wait a sec. And yes, everybody is muted. Great. So moving right along. Sorry, you can't see it. I was looking at the chat window. Another thing that's new this year, and I've been getting a lot of conflicting questions, so I put this right up front. You have something called a robot access period. This is considered a 2-day or district event. So if you've ever done FIRST before, what you think of as Thursday, that final build day, does not exist anymore. So keep that in mind. Check the rules. You need to look at Rule 5.6 about robot access period. We want you to do all of the things, all of the final build and fitting that you need to do at home at the leisure of your own shop. When you show up at this event, we want you to pass inspection and play. So there is no final build day on site here. And that's a change to what we've done in the past, but you need to be prepared for it because you're going to show up a little bit after 8 a.m. and we need you to be past inspection and be ready to play by 2. So there is no time whatsoever allocated for you to work on your robot. I sent out a link to the inspection documents. You should check those inspection documents against your own robot and do your own self-inspection at home. Things move much quicker at these 2-day events. So there you go, you've been warned. You may access your robot for a total of 6 hours during the 7 days prior to your event. That would be for us Friday through Friday of a week from now. I'm sorry, I can't even remember the dates of the events. I think it's the 13th. So you would be able to open your bag on the 6th in order to work on your robot. Check the rules. Don't rely on what I'm telling you. Check the rules for yourself. It's section 5.6 and follow those the best you can. So the biggest thing is your 45 pounds of withholding should be put on at your own shop. Don't bring it to the event loose. You don't have time to put it on at this event. So the goal is you can put your 45 pounds on at home, get it all working, bring it on in, and get it past inspection and play. All right? Hopefully that made some sense to you. It is different than what we've done before. And I've got a question from Che who's asking, do we need more inspectors? Actually, Che, if you're a judge, we appreciate that very much. You can stay a judge. Appreciate that. Okay. The basics of the district model are, these are smaller events than what we've done in the past. So if you're a veteran to FIRST, these are smaller. We have nearly all the bells and whistles, but we don't have very much space. You're on site for a smaller amount of time. So we'd like you to think about doing all the things that make your team cool, including your pits and all the rest of that stuff. But I need you to evaluate whether you can actually get it set up and running and pass inspection in 5 hours. So think smaller. So do less, better. And I think that's kind of the mantra for all of our teams and volunteers this year is we're trying to do less, better. And so I appreciate you're doing that. You're only there for 2 days. Save all the big stuff for when you make it to the district championships in Portland. All right, site-specific information. You are going to Mount Vernon High School, which is a really cool school in Mount Vernon, Washington. And some people aren't exactly sure where that is, so here it is on the map. It's about an hour north of Linwood, and it's a beautiful area up there. The drive usually isn't too bad once you get yourself out of Everett. There isn't a huge amount of traffic or anything, so you'll find that it's pretty smooth sailing on the way up. Okay. I'll reiterate once again, this is a Friday, Saturday event. Don't show up on Thursday. There's nothing for you to do. You can't come into the pits or anything, unless you're a volunteer. If you're volunteering, do come on Thursday. But this does have a different schedule. I've gotten a couple of questions as to why, so let me touch on it real quick. This event only has 28 teams, and with 28 teams, it turned out that when we ran the match schedules, we only had to do about 5 hours of qualification rounds. So if we would have followed the normal schedule, we would have been done by about 2:30 in the afternoon on Friday, and that doesn't allow enough time for the judges, and it is kind of it means that a bunch of people had to travel to do a very short day. So FIRST asked us to try cramming this into 2 days, not cramming, but it fits very nicely as a 2-day event. So that's why we're doing this, and that's why this one is different. Is we didn't want to waste all your time traveling, and also the volunteers as well. So Friday and Saturday only. You don't need to come on Thursday. So for your Friday arrival, we need you to realize that school actually is open. So, think about your high school. Think about what happens just before the bell, the bell rings. You've got a whole bunch of teenage drivers. They are all probably a little bit late for school, and it's standard high school mayhem in the morning. We are bringing a population of people that is going to double the population of the school for the day. So there are some things that we need to accommodate on Friday. One of them is please don't arrive before 8 a.m. We'd really appreciate it. The pits aren't open anyway, but if you showed up at 7:30, you're really just going to get stuck in high school traffic and with nowhere to go. And so do your best, stage yourself. If you get there early, there's I'll show you on the map, there's a little shopping center down there. You can go have a nice Starbucks, no-host Starbucks bar down there, and or have some breakfast, and try to do your best to arrive at 8 o'clock or later. Okay, we really appreciate that. And that's the same with your buses. If your buses show up and try and use the same bus parking as the Indigenous school, we're just going to make a mess. So belabored to death, but please, please, please don't show up before 8 a.m. Show up right at 8. We're good with that, but not before. All right, any questions about that? All right, so here is Mount Vernon High School from the air. This is actually the south end of Mount Vernon High School, but I just wanted to show you. We are going to be in the main gym right up here in the center. To the right is the pit building. It's their auxiliary gym. It's a lovely auxiliary gym, plenty of room. It's going to be one of the more luxurious spaces that we've got this year. There is parking to the south of the building. This is student parking. The kids have paid parking permits, so they all have assigned parking. So we're not actually allowed to use this lot on Friday. We'll get to that a little bit later. But what we're asking you to do is to sort of arrive, and we'll show you how to get in. But just the basic lay of the land is that we're on the south end of the campus. The actual main school building is actually up off the map a little bit, and the old school building is up here on the left. So. Oh, and somebody is saying she can't see what I'm referring to. Mike, can you see my screen? Oh, okay. There we go. Okay. So, moving on. How to arrive. So if you're coming from the south, hey Mike, thank you Mike for muting yourself. So if you're coming from the south, you're going to take the Kincaid exit off of I-5 northbound, or if you're coming from the north, you're going to take the Kincaid Street exit from southbound. When you take that exit, let's assume northbound, you're going to turn right onto Broad Street, and you're going to go up the hill. There's a nice little hill here, and you're going to hang a left on 13th. Street, and you'll go down to Division Street and take a little jog, and it's still 13th Street. And you can see this little side road up here is going to take you right into where you're going to load in. Okay, that's probably the easiest way for you to approach this venue. All right, hopefully that made some sense. When you actually come to unload, there'll be two options for you. If you've got a trailer, if you've got a large load, you can pull off of 13th. This is 13th. It runs right into the back of the school here. There'll be people out here helping direct traffic. If you've got a large load in a trailer, we're going to have you pull forward into between the pit building and the football field, and there's enough room out here. We should be able to unload several trailers at once or several trucks at once. Please do not plan on parking here. Staff your vehicle appropriately so that once you are unloaded, that vehicle can take off to go park. If you have just small loads and passengers, you can hang a left here, drop all of your passengers and all of your load sort of out here. Try not to block off anything. And this, again, is don't park here. Bring enough people to be able to get everything out of your car, and then the driver needs to go find the off-site parking facility. Okay? Hopefully that made sense to you. On Friday, we're asking you to carpool. Don't try and bring a whole lot of individual vehicles. And we suggest dropping your team and all of your materials at the pits, and then have one driver for each vehicle head over to the off-site parking. We'll show you where that is in a sec, and then we'll bring you back in a shuttle. Shuttle's going to run all day, so it shouldn't be too bad. The parking is 2 miles away. It's about a 4-minute ride. No big deal, and we'll keep that running all day long. Okay. The parking at the school will be available starting at 3 p.m. And actually, Mike just told me that it's a half day on Friday. Is that right, Mike? And I think, yep.
Sorry. Yeah, Friday's half day.
All right, so they'll be able to use that parking lot after, say, 12. Is that right?
I would say after 1.
Okay.
Students actually get out at 12:30.
Okay. Excellent. So I definitely by 3, that's for sure.
Yep.
All right. And then the off-site parking is going to be at Skagit Valley College. Skagit College it's 2 miles away. So we'll have maps available. We'll print out some maps for you. And you're going to follow this blue line. There's a couple of turns, and you end up right over here at Skagit College. I assume, Mike, that's what we worked out with them, right?
Yeah, the east parking lot at Skagit Valley College.
Okay. Hopefully that made sense to you. I'm going to check for questions real quick. Okay, so Delinda has pointed out that bus and trailer parking will be at Skagit Valley College, but other vehicle parking will be elsewhere yet to be determined. Only bus and trailer parking will be at SVC. Should I unmute Delinda? Or okay, hang on a sec. We're going to find Delinda in the list. There she is. Hi, Delinda.
Hi, guys.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I met with Skagit Valley College today with the head of security, and we're going to do bus and trailer parking at Skagit Valley College, but he's yet to determine where our other vehicle parking will be. So the bus and trailer parking at Skagit Valley College, if they take LaVenture Road to Skagit Valley College and they stay on LaVenture Road past College Way, they're going to make a right turn at the Northwest Tech Academy. They're going to pass the Northwest Tech Academy and go to where the tower is for the fire department. They'll see a tower that's to the north, that's kind of to their left. They're going to park up there for bus and trailers. Other vehicles are going to be parking elsewhere.
And we will have a place for them when they arrive. We'll tell them where to go?
Correct. We should have that nailed down within the next couple of days, the other vehicle parking, which would be just like passenger cars and that sort of thing.
Okay. Thank you for that. So we'll use a little Bing map action here. And so you're saying that they're going to come down LaVenture, that's this road.
Uh-huh.
And
so they're going to pass College Way.
Got it.
And then they're going to turn in where the Northwest Tech Academy is. So it's, oh gosh, I'm trying to think of the name of the road. It's a very tiny road, but the Northwest Tech Academy is huge.
Okay.
So they'll see that on their right, and they'll turn and they'll drive right in front of the Northwest Tech Academy. They'll continue on down that road, and it's going to turn into a parking area. As it turns into that parking area, it gives them an option to veer left, and it says no student parking. That's all right. We're not students. We're headed that way. And we're going to be parking around that track and where the large building, if you'll go to the large building on the left of the screen, maybe you can,
Okay.
that large, right in there, that's the whole area we're going to be parking, as well as the track for buses and trucks and trailers.
Got it. And you can see that this is a big area. There's actually a full-size bus right here.
Yeah, there you go. So they just want to be careful not to go in where those cars are parked. If you go straight in from the road that way, you see a red and blue and so on cars in there. They don't want to park in there. They want to travel up where that bus is.
Got it. And so this is where we're going to park vehicles with trailers, and we'll figure out where passenger cars go later.
Correct. And the school buses will park there as well.
Okay. Outstanding. Thank you for clearing that up. I'll let you mute yourself. You can jump in when I get something else wrong.
Okay, thanks.
Hey, you know, things have changed. It's I'm doing 10 of these, and so the details occasionally change a little bit. Okay, so go back previous. Okay, Saturday. For Saturday, you're allowed to park on campus at the high school, and you're allowed to use, well, pretty much the south lot and or the north lot. If you're going to bring a vehicle with a trailer, the north lot is a preferable place for you to go. Okay. So, and now we know where the trailer parking is. Trailer and bus parking is a change for us, so, or a change to me, so some of my slides are now incorrect, no sweat. So bus transportation. If you're bringing a bus, the buses are going to drop the students off in the right lane of East Fulton Street. It's a drop and go. They can't park there. So East Fulton Street is right here. They can pull over into the right lane, drop students off in either place. It's a unload, get your stuff off, and head into the pits, and then the buses can take off and go find that wonderful parking that they provided for us. Okay. Hopefully that made sense to everybody. Will U-Haul trucks be considered with the trailers or passenger cars? I think oversized vehicle parking is probably the right way to put this, Michael. So I think if you've got something that's bigger than a standard parking lot, that's kind of the idea behind that parking part area. Okay? Boy, that's a fire hose information. Let's see what else I can do to you guys. Let's talk about food. Concessions will be open Friday after 12:30 and Saturday all day, and it'll be standard concession sort of stuff. You are able to bring food. But remember, this is somebody else's school, and it's actually an open school. So the school's open during the day. So don't head for their cafeteria. It's they're probably using it. So box lunches will be available. By the way, Adrian is working out the details. A company called I'm going with Angelina's. I don't know exactly the name of the company. Adrian is going to post that later on tonight once she gets the order form from them. They were very gracious. This Mount Vernon is actually way outside their normal service area, but they're being very nice to us. They really like First, and so they're willing to actually make the drive up. So Adrian will send out more details about the food. Mike has also made arrangements with, who are you making arrangements with, Mike? I can't remember. Subways or?
I'm going to talk to Caesar's Pizza, Little Caesars, and Subway, a couple other places.
Outstanding. And so as we get those details in, we'll post that on the website. Okay. Yeah, and what is the new order food deadline? Great question, because this is obviously not the correct date. Why did I put that number in there? Huh. Oh well. Anyway, that was obviously some other day, or that was last week, wasn't it? I will. It's usually about a week in advance, Michael. Let me find out about that. my apologies for that. All right. Since school is going to be open that day, we are going to require everybody that is a first participant, students, mentors, and volunteers will all be wearing a wristband so that we know who's a first person and who is not. That will allow us to better monitor who is in the pits and who isn't in the pits, both directions, so that we know who we get to yell at and who that we need to have the school yell at, or vice versa. You know. So anyway, we're just trying to make sure that we can identify who's who. So you will be required to wear a wristband at this event, and we'll provide that for you when you check in on Friday morning. The pit power, we do not have a generator at this event. It turns out that they have about the same amount of power that we would get out of a generator in their pits, or in the pit building. So, but the same rules that have been bandied about apply here. So there's a limited amount of power. It's still a lot of power, but you know, we've got like 5 20-amp circuits in this building. We will provide, there will be power strips just like all of our other events. You can plug into our power strip your own extension cord and take that to your own power strip at your pit. Do not plug anything directly into the wall. We have already mapped out where the power is going to get allocated. We know which outlets are on which circuit, and so we've calculated all this out. So even if you find in the pit area an outlet that doesn't appear to be being used, it is likely ganged together with somebody else's pit power. So you need to keep that in mind. You get about 400 watts of power. This is unlike events we've had in the past. So if you're planning on bringing a big light show or a whole lot of flat panel TVs, we'd kind of discourage you from doing that. You're going to be grouped together with up to 6 other teams on a single 20-amp circuit. And if you guys start popping the breakers, it's going to be up to you guys to figure out who's being the energy hog. We have each pit administrator has a kilowatt power meter, and so we can help use that to diagnose how much power your power alliance is using. But please, please, please don't plan on bringing those gargantuan 10 battery chargers. You're going to draw too much energy. We just don't have it. In conjunction with that, in the main gym itself where we're playing the game, you may not use any outlets in that room. Our field equipment, the field controller, the computers, and all the AV equipment are going to consume all of the power in there. So if we find anything plugged into the wall, we are going to confiscate it. You'll be able to get it back Saturday night after the event, after the award ceremony, and not a minute before. You've been warned. There will be signs in there. We will be absolutely ruthless. I don't care if it was your operator station that you plugged in. If it's plugged in, we're taking it. So you've been warned. We just can't risk shutting down the event during the day. Okay. Oh, and Delinda just pointed out everybody wearing a wristband will receive a discount at the Skagit Valley Food Co-op on Friday and Saturday if they wear their wristband. That's pretty cool. It's the co-op. If you haven't been to it before, it's kind of it's sort of the original sort of PCC or was Whole Foods is too big. It's kind of sort of like the Puget Sound Co-op, and they have a really nice lunch bar down there, and it's sort of bistro thing. My wife and I actually enjoy going there to eat, so they have really good food. So thank you for working that out with them, Delinda. I appreciate that. All right. So let's talk about sort of an overview of the entire event for this shortened day. So Friday morning, team arrival and inspections. The pits open at 8. The event is going to start just about 2 o'clock. We're actually going to probably do opening ceremonies at 1:50, and it's going to run until about 6:30, 7 o'clock at night. So so we're going to run a full set of qualification matches. Your team is going to play 12 rounds. They are 6-minute rounds. Things move pretty quickly. There will be a half-hour break at 4:30 for you because we realize that you're going to be, this is a fast-moving game. These smaller events, you know, a lot of us are used to our big 64 team events. Smaller events, you're running on average every 4.5 matches. So you really only get about 20 minutes between rounds. So there's none of these 90 minutes between your events. It's all randomly generated, but the computer software is pretty good about making sure that you get at least some time in between, but you don't get a lot. So we went ahead and scheduled a half-hour break for you for major repairs. That'll be happening around halfway through the day, about 4:30. Okay, and then Saturday, if you're a first veteran, Saturday is going to run just like every other Saturday event that you've been to. We'll do qualifications in the morning, do alliance selection somewhere around noon, run the elimination rounds, and then do the awards. There is not an award ceremony on Friday, so we will end up closing the day a little bit earlier so that we can get all 12 rounds in. The cool thing about district model, every event plays 12 rounds instead of, you know, the bigger events we only got 9, maybe 10 in, so your team will get to play quite a bit more. Okay. Okay, whoops, sorry. I'm not used to running this on one computer. All right, load-in and inspection. Safety glasses are mandatory in the pits at all times. There are no exceptions to that rule. Please follow the instructions of our on-site staff. Even if the instructions sound bizarre, this is all being run by volunteers. They have their assignments. They know what they're supposed to do, and we try not to deviate too much from that. It causes confusion for everybody. Okay. During load-in, you may not park in the loading area, so stay with the vehicle, and then please be sure to read in the supplemental rules. The supplemental rules were posted on our website. I've sent out several links to everybody about them. Your cart, everything that's on wheels needs to have at least 3-inch diameter wheels. We have these things called yellow jackets. We run our power cabling through them. You will find them in many places around the field. If your wheels are less than 3 inches in diameter, you're going to have a difficult time getting over it. In the past, we've seen people with you know, their rolling tool chests hit one of those things and dump the entire contents on the ground. We are on somebody's basketball courts, so there's going to be floor protection down, but keep that in mind. I'm going to belabor that a couple more times. Sorry about that, but I need to make sure that you guys actually get it. Now, remember, your only goal on, I apologize, that should say Friday, your only goal on Friday morning up until 2 o'clock is to pass inspection. Your goal is not to try and mount 45 pounds of withholding stuff on your robot. If you are, so keep that in mind, will you? Saturday for load out is pretty much the inverse of load in. You're welcome to get all of your materials assembled, be ready to go, bring your vehicle up, and you can load out. Again, no parking in the load out area, so no coming up with your vehicle, parking, and going inside to collect stuff. You need to have a team of people ready to help you out with that. You may, if you'd like, load out during the elimination rounds on Saturday if you're not in them, okay? And so here's the more details about this 3-inch wheel thing. So again, we don't want you to be spilling your stuff or damaging the floors. So you must have 3-inch diameter or larger wheels. My team's carts have always had 4-inch wheels. They're very nice at getting over these cable bumps. They need to be in good working order. The only time we've damaged a basketball court in the past 5 years was somebody's had a bogus wheel and put a multi-$1,000 scratch in the floor. We don't want to have to hand you a bill for that. Please no hard plastic or steel tread wheels. Steel tread wheels, you see them a lot on those things that you crawl under cars with in some older toolboxes. And the hard plastic wheels, we're thinking like, you know, those cheap Husky rolling tool chests. They have ABS plastic wheels that have no mass to them at all. And what inevitably happens is you'll get a nut or something under that wheel. It'll stick those plastic wheels do not roll if there's something under them, and it will tear through our floor coverings. It will tear right into the floor of the gym. Please don't do that. So we are going to be very, very sticky about this point, and we may ask you to take whatever you brought on wheels back out to your car. The maximum weight for your carts, 50 pounds per inch of wheel size. So if you have one cart, you have 4 3-inch wheels on it, 600 pounds max. That shouldn't be a problem for anybody. If you're bringing more than that, you should examine your head. But if we think that your cart is too heavy for the wheels that you've brought, we're going to ask you to leave it out in your vehicle. And once again, we are not allowing any wheels less than 3 inches. All right. And then, you know, get good casters. We would really appreciate that a lot. I'm going to check to see if there are any questions about any of that. Michael is recommending that all carts have at least 2 inches of clearance. Yes, you actually have to have well more than 2 inches of clearance. If you don't know what a yellow jacket is, it's a cable cover. They're about 8 or 10 inches wide. They're 2 inches tall. There's a ramp on one side. There's a little flat area, and then a ramp down the other side. And they are unforgiving. If you get yourself high-centered, over you go. Okay. All right. Friday morning is all about inspections. So please staff yourself appropriately so that when you arrive, a appropriately sized portion of your team is ready to do inspections immediately. There is not a lot of time during this event for you to do anything else. It's fine if you've got another set of team members who are going to take care of setting up the pits, but we're expecting you to show up with a robot ready to go through inspection right away. All of that preparation work and all of that final last-minute stuff should have been done at your own shop during your 6 hours. Okay? If you are stuck and if you're showing up and just don't know how to pass inspection or can't get something to work, start asking for help right away. There are some very experienced teams coming to Mount Vernon. They would love to help you out, and in general, teams with lower numbers are going to have probably more experience. Not always, but oftentimes they do. And monitoring is actually a very, very interesting word. It's let's just call it Norwegian and leave it at that. Team registration at 8 a.m. As soon as you get there, we need your lead mentor to head on over to the registration desk at Pit Admin. Bring all your paperwork, your TIMS roster, any handwritten additions as needed, any handwritten consent forms, and we will get you checked in as soon as we can. That lets us know that, well, not only you're there, but also allows us to give you a schedule for the day, and then we know that we can put you into the scoring system so that you'll have a spot. If you neglect to check in, we'll try and come find you, but if we don't end up seeing you by some point at noon o'clock, you may not end up with a spot on the competition schedule. So that's an important thing for you to get done. All right, who to bring on Friday? So the reality is, and it's something for you to consider, there isn't going to be a whole lot of spectator activities before 2 o'clock on Friday. So by all means, your mentors, your builders, and those sorts of things you should bring definitely on Friday morning. If you wanted to leave behind some of your team members, if you have a large team, the reality is there's not going to be a whole lot for people to be doing before 2 o'clock. They are 100% welcome. We expect them to be there. But on the other hand, if you kind of maybe wanted to just have them take a half a day off, or if you don't feel like dealing with a large team, if they wanted to show up after, if they want to show up somewhere around 1:30, 2 o'clock, that is a perfectly acceptable thing to do. And definitely have your entire team there Friday afternoon and Saturday. So that's something that you can work out on your own. Okay. There's also, Delinda was just pointing out, there's also going to be some demonstration. There's going to be a SWAT team demolition robot, a bomb squad robot there on Friday. So there is some stuff for the students to look at. Okay. All right, looks like I got a couple of questions or a couple of hands up. Let me find out what's going on there. Oh, that was Delinda. Delinda, I got yours, I think. And yep, those are all the questions at the moment. All right. If you're a veteran team, inevitably somebody's going to have troubles with their bumpers. It happens every event. My team is no exception. They'll probably have problems with their bumpers too. It's just how it goes. If you wanted to bring any extra bumper material and just sort of like have a little box of that, or anything else for spare parts, we have to run 11 events out of 2 spare parts boxes. We're using the blue truck. This is going to be a week 3 event. It's going to start getting to the point where supplies will be a little bit more limited. They always get used up the first couple of weeks. So if your team wanted to bring a couple of extra motor controllers or digital sidecars and that sort of stuff, we'd really appreciate that. Just to have it on, to loan out. We're not asking you to give your stuff away, but occasionally teams will need to borrow some things. Do appreciate that. And as always, programming is always an issue with first team. So if you've got some mentors or students who are particularly adept at programming, we'd probably love to get some help from them. The machine shop will open at 8 p.m. or 8 a.m. is really what time it was supposed to open. So at 8 a.m. the machine shop opens. They'll be staffed with volunteers. As always, just like all of our events, the machine shop is not there for you to use personally. You'll need to give a list of things that need to happen to your machine shop attendants, and they will help take care of that for you. I believe we're still looking for some people to help out with the machine shop this year. If you've got a mentor or two, or a couple of machinists, or people that can handle a small mill and a small lathe on Friday, love to have them volunteer. I'll show you where to go volunteer here in a few minutes. We'd also like to find some people who are particularly good at TIG welding. We have the welding equipment, we have a little machine shop, but we're always looking for folks to help us out there. Okay. All right. Just checking the question box one more time. Okay. Thursday. Sorry about this. As you can tell, I tried to edit all the slides. I missed a few. Friday, starting at 8 a.m., the inspection process. You're going to get sized and weighed at the inspection station. They're going to do a software check for you. That involves them just taking a peek, make sure you got the right firmware and those sorts of things. And then they're going to do a physical robot inspection at your pit. And so you're going to get yourself on the schedule for that. And then at some point during the morning, we really need to have you go out to the practice field and get your computer to connect to the main field computer. It's really important that we do that. A lot of times teams have issues. They need to get their their C-REO re-imaged or something like that. It's not hard. It's not difficult. It's pretty standard stuff to do, but it does take time. So we don't want to have to have you miss a match because of a simple fix that just takes time. So please, please, please get out there. We will come get you at some point if you haven't been out there, and we're going to take whatever your robot state is. We've actually taken control boards without robots attached. We've taken robots on carts that are completely disassembled out to the field and gotten them to connect. So be ready for that. We're going to do that. And be sure and remember, the inspectors are there to help you get on the field. They're not there to be the police and to be your enemies. They are extraordinarily helpful, and most of them are experienced mentors. They've all been there before. So if you're having any issues, or even if you know that you're not going to pass inspection, get an inspection started. Let them catch all of those problems early. Okay, beat that to death. And remember, it is really rare for a robot to pass inspection on the first attempt. Doesn't matter if you're bare metal, the Skunk Works, or one of our rookie teams. Everybody has at least one or two things they end up having to change. So I've heard a minor change that has been made. If you're using pneumatics and your dump valve is not directly attached to your compressor, you may end up having to move it. I heard about this today. There was an update to the lead robot inspectors. I know that my team is going to have to deal with that probably right off the bat. So if you are using pneumatics and you haven't taken your robot out for the 6 hours yet, you're going to have to move your air dump valve to be directly connected to the compressor. So just a little heads up on that. All right. And connecting to the field, really important. I guess I already went over that. So we want you to connect to the field by 1 p.m. at the absolute latest. That's when we're going to generate the match list. If you haven't connected, we may not put you into the schedule, which would be a huge disappointment for everybody. Okay. All right. And I know I belabored it before. I'm going to belabor it one last time. I promise this is the last time. There is no final build day at this event. This is now pass inspection and play day. So don't come with a big box of stuff that you need to finish. If you have to, you have to, but don't make that your plan. Your plan should be to, whatever comes out of the bag should be your ready to be inspected, ready to run robot. Do all of that sort of stuff at home. Plan accordingly. All right? And make sure that you're asking for help if you need it. I think, oh, look at that. We hit the end already. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me. My inbox, by the way, is it's actually down. There's about 3,500 unread messages. I have been very much focused on getting the show ready to go. So if you have emailed me in the past couple of weeks, I'd invite you to email me again if you didn't get an answer to your question. I apologize to everybody who I just couldn't process all that email. However, I'm now officially done with the production part of it, and I will be back to trying to pay attention and support the teams the best I can. Recordings and these slides will be up on that FRC district model directory probably within about an hour. If your team has got photographers and is interested, they can find out about contributing to our media crew effort. If you go to the firstwa.org, I'll show that to you right now. It's on here. You can go to firstwa.org and look under media crew. It'll tell you about how we collect pictures using our using a Flickr account. It allows us to aggregate all the pictures. We'd love to have your team contribute to that. Some things for you to, let me point out the things on the website one more time. FRC, district model, check-in. That is, we need your lead mentor to do this as soon as possible for all the events that you're attending here in the Pacific Northwest. The other thing is if you go to district model, you can find our supplemental rules, which describe in great nauseating detail all about carts, wheels, and our floor protection plan, the rules for things that are in the pits, and the electrical power rules, and the required equipment. There is required equipment that you need to bring. If you're going to participate, you need to have a 15-foot extension cord and a 50-foot extension cord, and a power strip for your team to use. And the fourth thing that you need to bring is a 2-foot by 2-foot by 3/4 inch, although honestly if you had a 1/2 inch we'd be fine with that. You need to bring a board that you are going to pound / drill / set sharp things on. We have floor protection. It is a 14 mil tarp. It's a very heavy tarp in terms of tarps, but it is not good at sharp things. So it will prevent scuffs and abrasions, but you can puncture it and poke yourself right into the floor. And again, we would hate to hand you a bill because it costs somewhere around $22,000 to $25,000 to refinish a basketball court. All right, that was a lot of stuff. And the other thing I wanted to let you know is if you would like to volunteer for any of our events, we're looking, I think we were looking good on robot inspectors. Mike, do you remember? I'll be honest, I haven't looked at your event. How are we doing on robot inspectors, do you know?
I was going to ask Susan for a list. I'm not sure.
Okay, well, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to cheat, and publicly everybody will get to see this, but that's okay. I don't think there's anything secret I'm about to show you. Listed by jobs. Okay, we are, oh, I know. If you've got some students who would like to be part of the video streaming crew, specifically, I need some students that are willing to run some high-definition video cameras. We are going to televise this. And I need a student or two to help me run the audio and the video equipment. Love to have them. It'll be fun. It is an all-day event. It'll be an all-day thing on Friday and an all-day thing on Saturday for them. But if you've got students that are otherwise unoccupied or not really part of the robot crew that would like to get involved, they get to play with some very sophisticated video switching equipment and some really nice video cameras. We need responsible students who can handle several hours of focused work without resorting to texting and goofing off. So I'm looking for students who would like to volunteer. So we've got that, and we all are also, actually it looks like we're good on inspectors. Yay, yay inspectors. The other one that we're looking for, Mike, do we have field assembly events set up and tear down people that just haven't signed up, do you think?
We are recruiting.
Okay, if you are local, Anacortes, and you've got some students who would like to come over and help me out on Thursday afternoon, love to have you come over. Thursday around from about 3 o'clock to 10 o'clock we'll be setting up. Mike's got some students coming, but we probably need a total of about a dozen students between Arlington and Mount Vernon and the other teams up in that area.
Cedar Woolley, Concrete.
Cedar Woolley, Concrete, yeah, everybody. If you got a couple of students that like to come and volunteer, I'm going to show you where to go on how to volunteer. Love to have you help us out. Really appreciate that. The place to go is volunteer.firstwa.org. And come on, there it is. And what you'll do is I'll log myself out. You'll end up creating yourself an account. You hit this right here on create a new account. It'll ask you some pertinent details. You can and then it does the email confirmation thing, so it'll email you. And then when you come back to visit us again, you can select an event, select Mount Vernon, and you can sign up for event assembly and setup. Would really appreciate your guys' help up there. Here's the deal. Here's what I'm looking for. Especially, so North End teams. I really want to keep an event up there. We want to keep heading north. We want to start developing volunteers up there that know how to run this stuff. So I am actively seeking not only students but alumni and mentors who would like to get in on and just kind of see how to put a field together and those sorts of things. So at some point in the future, if you guys want to borrow one of our fields, you'll have a little bit of expertise on how to do this, because I'd love to be able to do a scrimmage and those sorts of things up there. So volunteering at this event goes a long way into helping us provide you guys equipment to do off-season stuff. So I think it's a good thing for all of the teams on the North End to really help us out with this. It's not terribly difficult stuff. It's you know, we set it up with volunteers all the time. Would really appreciate your help with that. So hopefully that plea is resonating with you and that you'll be able to find some folks to help set up. All right. We need help setting up the pits. We need help setting up the field. You'll get to see how all of our equipment works. It's actually a lot of fun, and we can get you guys more involved with the actual running of the program. Because most of this equipment is the same thing that we do for First LEGO League and First Tech Challenge, and we're coming your way. We want to move more FLL and more FTC up towards the north, and so we need you guys to step up and help out. All right. That was a pretty good plug, I thought. What do you think? All right. Michael, there is a section. Thank you for asking. There is a section up here for Machine Shop. Let me log in one more time. I'll show you where it is. They are events, and I'm going to go down and find, there it is, Mount Vernon. Oh, wrong event. Oh, and Mike, are we still doing, have you been in touch with Willem about JFLO? Junior First Leg League?
You know, I was going to ask you about that. I haven't talked to him since the FTC, and he said that he was going to have FLL up there on Friday.
Sounds good. I'll be honest, I've been ignoring everything but getting the trucks packed for weeks. So I will follow up with that right away. Mike, there, if you look under in the pit area, the machine shop group, there's a place to sign up for machine shop staff. Should be on the list. All right. So let's see, what else do I have to, I'm entertaining any other questions that I may have left you with, because I'll be honest with you, I'm actually done. Anybody else have any questions that I didn't answer, or general questions that I can help out with?
Kevin, there is a TOLO Friday evening, and anybody with a wristband, that wristband will count as a student ID for a discount into the dance.
Oh, it's a dance. I was going to Tolo. Awesome.
Yeah.
Do you know what the hours of that?
Pardon?
Do you know what hours what are the hours of that?
Delinda, you know what those hours are? I think 8 to 10 or 8 to 11.
Delinda, go ahead and unmute yourself. You can tell us. Oh, I guess, did I mute? I may have muted Delinda. Hang on a sec.
Okay, here I am.
Yay!
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yep.
All right. The TOLO is from 8 to 11. It's $8 for anybody with an ASB card, $10 for anybody without an ASB card. The theme is superheroes and sidekicks. So come with your costumes. Maybe a whole bunch of Transformers might show up or something. But and we're also asking that the teams bring their chaperone or advisor, of course, so that way we don't have 600 kids with our few advisors there.
All right. Yeah, that sounds like fun.
It's going to be in the cafeteria, which is just across the courtyard, basically to the north and a little bit to the west of where the gym is. It'll be very obvious where the dance will be.
Outstanding.
We're also hoping to have like a taco truck or a barbecue truck and maybe a latte truck, that kind of thing on campus Friday afternoon and Saturday. So that'll be a great location for spectators and so on to pick up food right there on campus unless they want to go downtown.
Oh, hey, that's a great idea. Awesome.
We'll have concessions set up right in the gym, and they'll do nachos and soda and candy and all that kind of stuff as well.
Okay. Mark has asked, it's Earhart. Mark has asked a great question. When is the award judging happening? Mark, the RCA awards will be on Friday morning. And I think actually we're going to probably do the Dean's List interviews also on Friday morning. And I believe that is the last plan that I heard for this particular event. I will, if there's any variation to that, I'll let you know. But usually we do RCA on Friday, interviews on Friday morning. They probably won't start till like 10 o'clock or so. They will be scheduled, and we will make announcements for that. Yes, and keep in mind that everything is going to happen all at once. This is going to be really a fast-moving event. So there may be what you'd call an opportunity for collisions of schedules to happen at several points during the day. Specifically, it may turn out that if your drivers are on your RCA team, the RCA judging will not happen during the event, but they may interfere a little bit with inspections. So we might need to plan accordingly for that. Okay. Superheroes and sidekicks. I don't know what I'll have to figure out what my superhero character. I think I'm a sidekick, actually. Sounds like fun. It'd probably be creepy if I went, though, isn't it? We won't go there. All right. With that, I guess if there are no other questions, we look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks. We're going to be doing Auburn Mountain View this weekend, and hopefully everything will run very, very smoothly. We will, by the time we get to Mount Vernon, it'll be our 3rd week in a row, and we will have everything ironed out and smoothed out. I really think this is going to be a great experience for the kids, a great experience for the mentors. We're really looking forward to being able to have everybody play more. We expect the competition to get much more fierce, if you will, I think it's just the district model. I think is just going to generally be a really great thing for all of us. So, all right, everybody, thank you so much, and we will see you in a couple of weeks.